What's up, guys? We just situated. No, ain't nobody here right now, but it's car vibes, right? So, check this out. Boom. It's like 98. Let me see if I doesn't make any difference. It's like 98 degrees here in Norfolk. I'm on my way to the gym. Um, plug this bad boy in. On my way to the gym. So, while I'm on my way to the gym, I'm going to, talk about a few things, give you a few more RDC stories. Hope you enjoy them. No, ain't nobody on here, but when this gets posted, it's that pre-workout, BPN, Bare Performance Nutrition. It's that flight and that endo pump. That's what I'm sipping on right now. About to go to the gym. And yes, I got water too. All right. So when I get to the gym, I sip on water. All right. So the plan today, the gym, is just get a light leg workout in. The light leg workout in. No squats. More of a machine focused workout. And this sun is beaming. Machine focused workout, and go from there. And then get some more food in. Kind of just chill for the rest of the day. Once again, I'm driving, so if it gets a little bumpy in the video, I apologize. These Norfolk roads are trash. All right. I go to Iron Asylum Gym in Kentville, the Kentville location. I think is what it is. Um, that's where I go work out. Actually, when I came to Norfolk, I actually found the gym. I actually found the gym before I found an apartment. So I found an apartment first, and I wanted to live around the gym, but that didn't work out because they changed my orders. So if my orders hadn't changed, I would have found an apartment near my gym, but I didn't. So when my orders changed, they said I was going to a carrier in Norfolk. I moved to Norfolk, but I found an apartment near Norfolk, real center of Norfolk. So I pretty much live downtown Norfolk. So I'm about 20 minutes away from the gym that I go to, and super close to the base. So that's just kind of how I worked it out. So like I said, I am stationed on the USS Bush, right? What's going on? Also, cop pulled over. On the Bush, and yeah, today's Sunday, so the day off. So I'm gonna tell you two stories. One pretty short, and one don't have all the details on it, but it was pretty interesting what went down. And most all the parties that are involved have transferred from that command. And it's something that like you would never hear about unless somebody said something, mentioned it. So the first story, already recruits go when they're in boot camp. There's a few things that recruits find. One, recruits find religion, and one, recruits find every excuse to get out of PT, and another one is they find every excuse to go to medical. So one with religion, like you'll see, boot camp has so many types of services that recruits can go to. There's even one called Earth Science Ministries. I don't know what that's about. If you know what it's about, comment below. All right, or post a comment and tell me what that's about. There's are there any 7-day Adventists, Hindu, you name it, all kinds of service. So recruits find religion in boot camp, and they're allowed to go to any service they want. So even if you're a Christian, you're like a traditional Christian, you, instead of like prepping yourself on Sunday for the week, you spend all day at church or all day at the chapel, going to different religious services. So that's one thing that recruits find when they're in boot camp. Another one is they find ways to get out of PT. So they pick up, they have their watch, the pretty much the person that writes the watch bill, we call them the starboard watch or the port watch. They write the watch bill so that they never have to. They try to never have to go to PT. They have watches. They look at the schedule and they try and make sure they're on watch or something during PT, so they don't have to PT. And then when it comes to into boot camp, they fail their PT session, and then you wonder why. You look back at their record and you see that it was an excuse every time that they went to PT. Another one is medical. Oh my goodness. So recruits go to medical for anything. And I used to tell them, if you were at home, this is how I put it. If you were at home, sitting at home on your couch, and you had to go to work the next day, would you take the day off? Would you take the day off to go to the hospital to get this fixed? And that's how I phrase it. If they say yes, then they go to medical. If they say no, then they don't go to medical. But it's really up to them whether or not they want to go to medical. We can't refuse them or tell them they can't go to medical. It's kind of one of the things that RDCs can't do. Tell a recruit they can't go to medical, which sometimes is annoying because they shouldn't go to medical. It's just like a common cold, or they just need to hydrate more, things like that, things that they could just take care of with like self-care, if they just paid attention to their bodies. But once again, you're dealing with like 18, 19-year-olds that have never been away from home and really don't know what they always want, mom and dad to take care of them. So they always find an excuse to go to medical to get that loving care that medical provides. I've had recruits go to medical for a cold pack, right? Go to medical for a cold pack. They go to medical for the cold pack, which is pretty much like medicine because they have a cold. It's like Sudafeds, things like that. And I get a phone call and they come back with a code of mental health, which means they're getting separated because they've gone crazy. How do you go from going to pretty much the clinic to get, because you had a runny nose, to being sent home separated because you went crazy? I tell recruits this, like when you go to medical listens. Everything you say, they listen. And you say like a few magical words and boom, they hear it. They send you, to the mental section of the clinic, and they do a little counseling on you, like a little interview, determine whether or not you're fit for service. Next thing you know, you getting sent home. I've seen like RPOCs, AROCs, Master Arms. If you're RDC, you know what I'm talking about. Pretty much the leaders of your division, the people that are important, intricate part of your division being successful, getting separated. And now and you train them up to a certain point, and now they're going home because of a cold pack. But there's an interesting story, which I'm getting to. This one guy, he was a mineman. He's a mineman RDC, and he used to just say some off the wall stuff to recruits that was pretty hilarious. And you just laugh at the end of the day about it. But recruits used to walk up to him with like emergencies, and he would calmly address the emergency with some sarcasm because he knew it wasn't really an emergency. So he had one recruit come up to her and say, petty officer, I think I'm having a heart attack. I think my heart's about to stop. And he's like, oh really? Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. He's like, this is what we're gonna do. I want you to go get a blanket, one of those wool blankets that they issue in boot camp, obviously. Go get a blanket, lay it on the floor, lay it all flat on the floor. Then I want you to go find an AED, which is a automatic. It's a defibrillator. I can't remember. Like, can't remember the word, what it means right now at this time. But it's an AED. So pretty much, if your heart stops, it helps restart your heart. Basically, that's what it is for. So an AED, go get an AED and get a blanket. I want you to lay the blanket straight out on the deck, right on the floor. I want you to attach the pads to the right parts of your body, right? I'm gonna be there in a minute. Now, if your heart is stopped, it's gonna shock you, right? But if your heart ain't stopped, it's gonna shock you anyway and make your heart stop. Okay? Which was not true, because if you have a heartbeat, the AED senses it and doesn't provide a shock. He's like, okay. He told the recruit this, and the recruit looked at him like, I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay, petty officer. I don't want to attach a AED to my. I think I'll be all right. What he was, he's just having a panic attack, and pretty much talked him out of, trying to go to the hospital, and he just calmed him down. So recruits have panic attacks all the time while they're in boot camp, because they don't deal with stress. All right, they don't deal with stress at home, or they haven't been taught how to deal with stress at home. More older recruits are able to deal with stress, but that's not always true. I've had some people over like 25 years old go through panic attacks and stuff like that, because they've been taking care of their entire life, and they haven't had any stressors. They've been living at home, or somebody's been taking care of them. They haven't had any stressors, so when they're faced with stress, they panic or have panic attacks. I had this one recruit. He was way overweight. I don't know how the recruiter got him to boot camp, but he was way overweight, and he had some type of indigestion issues. And this was the first time I had to use oxygen for this person, for any recruit. RDCs are taught how to use oxygen, for recruits that need oxygen. So, and I'm on the third deck. All right, there's 3 decks to each building. I'm on the third deck, and this recruit started like having a hard time breathing. So I had to run all the way down to the third deck to grab the oxygen, because there's only 1 per building. All the way down and all the way back up. And this recruit, he's like a big guy, so he starts grabbing the one RDC leg, and the RDC, you could clearly see that he's in pain from him grabbing him. He was like, man, I thought that dude was about to break my leg. He had like a strong grip on my leg. I couldn't even take it off my leg. But we did get oxygen to the recruit. Turned out he had some indigestion issues, with indigestion coupled with panic attacks. So it was something going on with him. Yeah, he didn't make it. He got separated, medical separation. He just wasn't ready for military service. But the last story I'm gonna tell you is about the blind. I call this one blind faith, or blind following rules blindly, right? So we have this thing, we teach recruits in boot camp about mental toughness, about staying resilient, and one of the things is, one, don't give up the ship. Don't give up the ship, fight the ship, in boot camp. And a lot of recruits take that to heart, right? They take that to heart, because they don't want to let themselves down. They don't want to let the RDCs down. They don't want to let their division down while they're in boot camp by quitting. There's several events that recruits have to do while they're in boot camp, obviously, and one of them is it's called Marlin Spike. Marlin Spike is pretty much a fake ship that teaches recruits how to line handling skills. Teaches them line handling skills and man overboard. But one thing you don't do is when you request permission to come aboard, you request permission to go ashore, and then you don't leave the ship until you're done, right? Well, this one division, I guess, had the instructors had pretty much told them that they had failed the evolution and that they were horrible, and that they're going to need a lot of work. So they took it to mind as in, we're not leaving this ship until we have successfully, you know, fought the ship. Don't give up the ship. So they weren't going to leave the Marlin Spike, and they were for serious. All of them were serious. The whole division. So RDC show up. They're not leaving they're not getting off the ship. The RDCs are yelling at them, telling them to get the hell off the ship. They're gonna get asthma. They're still not leaving the ship. The instructors told them. The security shows up. The actual police show up to tell them, hey, this is not training anymore. You need to get off the ship. They still weren't getting off the ship. The CMC shows up, says, hey, this is not training anymore. We're not playing. This is not a drill. This isn't practice. Look, we're done. You need to get off the ship. They still didn't get off the ship. Finally, security started putting them in handcuffs and taking them, escorting them off the ship. And then the rest of them, and then the majority of them finally got the clue and got off the ship. And finally got off the ship. So they I think they arrested like 9 of them, and had them in isolation. So, and then there was some fallout from both the instructors and the division. But that was a crazy story. Like, with blind faith, like they told them, hey, don't give up the ship, don't quit, and they took that to heart. They took that to heart and really didn't want to leave. I don't know what would have made them leave, beyond what had made them leave, which was getting handcuffed and escorted off the ship. But that was a crazy story. You saw all kind of, you know, security, police, everybody was over there, trying to get these guys off the ship. Yeah. Oh, sorry, delay. There was a fire truck. So they were doing everything they possibly could to get that division off the ship, and they finally had to get arrested to get off the ship. I know the RDCs, the CMC is no longer the CMC there anymore. He transferred to another command. It was a really interesting story. Pretty hilarious. The RDCs were just perplexed at what it had inspired. But those are some things. That's a story you'll probably never ever hear about RTC. Some of the wild things our recruits do and say while they're at boot camp. Yeah. So blind faith. So that's, I guess, when you're telling a person, right, for 8 weeks, right, listen to me, do everything I say. We pretty much tell them when to wake up, when to go to sleep, when to eat, when they can use, pretty much when they can use their head, when to hydrate, what to wear. So, at a certain point, it gets, indoctrinated into them, and that's when you just have blind faith that the person that's telling you something is correct. And they, up until the point where they got arrested, handcuffed, is when they thought they were still in training. They thought they were still being tested. So that's a story that you'll never hear. To see what else. I want to talk to you guys about something else. Oh yeah. So I was watching a documentary on, it's called Fit to Fat to Fit again, And it's about these personal trainers, right? It's about these personal trainers that they get fat, right? They get fat to help a client get. And my freaking connection is going out. My connection is going out because I'm driving through some trees and stuff like that. So they don't. So people that are in shape don't understand the stressors, right? The stressors of being, overweight. So when a personal trainer comes to you and says a fat person, you're lazy, you don't have any self-control. Well, that personal trainer doesn't understand, and I kind of don't understand what goes on in a heavy person's mind at the time they enter the gym, right? At the time they enter the gym. When a sick person goes to the doctor doesn't criticize the sick person for being there. But that's what happens when big people go to the gym, right? You see this overweight person on the treadmill, or you see the overweight person on a machine, and you kind of get this like judgmental attitude. Skinny people do that. Get this judgmental attitude about this big person being in the gym. They're at the right place. That's where they need to be, right? Because they're trying to better themselves. But there's a stigma, and it makes them feel uncomfortable. And people can feel that. Like, you can feel when you're getting stared at in the gym, and it makes them not want to stay. It makes them not want to come back. That's why they go on all these like fad diets, like these juice diets, these all these crazy diets that don't work. All right, that don't work, and then they do work well enough where they lose a lot of weight. They lose a lot of weight, but the weight comes back 10 times more because it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. So I was watching this story, and it just really I guess it resonated in me that in order for you to be a good personal trainer, in order for somebody to understand how to help a person lose weight, you have to literally sit down with them and have a conversation with them on what's going on in their head. I don't think big people want to be big because they are big because they're lazy. I just think a lot of times you're just uncomfortable when you go to the gym. All right, it's like anything you try for new. Anything you try new, you're a little bit uncomfortable with it until you actually start, getting used to it, or you have somebody that kind of coaches you through it and not really yelling at you. I've seen some horrible personal trainers just berate their clients, and the clients don't want to come back, and then they go to the next client that's like skinny, and they work them out, and they're successful, because that skinny client has the mindset has the same mindset as the trainer. But some big people, they just want to be healthy. They don't want to be skinny, right? They just don't want to die, right? They don't want to die. So you have to understand what I think a lot of personal trainers have to understand. What is the end goal for that person that walks into the gym? Not everybody doesn't want to be, a small waist, a perfect. No one, and not everybody wants that. Not everybody can do that. Some people have like physiological issues where they can't lose a lot of weight. It takes them a lot more time to lose weight. So like an 8-week program, and they don't meet their goal, the personal trainer gets upset. Like, what are you doing at home? You're eating snacks and stuff like that. Well, you have to understand, people have lives, right? They have work they got to do. The gym is not their life. As for a personal trainer, the gym is their life. That's what they do. They go to the gym, they work out a client, and that's their job, or as a personal trainer, if that's their only job. But a person that's office guy, or somebody that works at an office, their job is office, and then they may have kids, then they got a wife, then they got bills, they got stress. So you, as a personal trainer, I think we have to get back to the person and not really the goal. The goal will get there as long as we as personal trainers understand what that person's goal is. All right, as long as you're happy with when you stand in front of a mirror, or when you put on your favorite pair of jeans, or that favorite outfit, or whatever, and you're happy with what you are and you're healthy, I think that is a success for the personal trainer. Not everybody can eat freaking asparagus and 98 lean ground beef for 8 weeks. All right, it takes a special kind of person to do that. um, People have normal lives. People want to eat pizza, people want to eat hot dogs, people want to eat hamburgers. There's nothing wrong with that. I eat that stuff too. But what we have to do with the person, with the client, is compromise. All right, yes, I understand you have a life, you want to eat pizza and stuff like that, but don't eat it every day. Right? Don't eat it every day. Try different ways to make the pizza. Make it homemade pizza. All right, make a homemade pizza. Find a more healthier options. There's tons of healthier options out there. When I was cutting for my show, there's a brand called Walden Farms. They have every type of salad dressing you want, and it all tastes pretty good. And then they even have barbecue sauces now, that you can put on your food. That like, say if you want barbecue chicken, right? You go to the store, and it's cheaper than going to like the KFC or something like that. You go to the store, you buy the chicken, right? You buy the chicken, you buy the sugar-free or whatever barbecue sauce. You make it at home. You enjoy it more, right? You enjoy it more, and you save yourself a lot of money. Instead of getting an 8-piece chicken for like $10.99, you've bought a week's worth of chicken for $10.99. So you're saving money and you're eating healthy, right? So I think personal trainers have to get into the minds of their client first before they try and put them on a treadmill or bring them into the gym and make them do 100 burpees or something like that. The stuff that I do on my channel, the YouTube channel, I encourage people to try it, but I also encourage people to try substituting it. If you can't do a burpee, right, just go down, do a push-up, stand back up. If you can't do a squat, sit in a chair, stand back up, right? If you work in the office and you have to sit down every day, right? You're sitting down 80% of the time. Set an alarm, set a timer for every 30 minutes. I'm going to stand up and work. Things like that to help you get out of that sedentary lifestyle. Instead of going out to eat with your friends for lunch at work, bring a meal, and not every day, because meal prep takes time and effort. Bring a meal like two to three times a week. These just small things. All right, small things. It's about the journey. It's not the end goal. Yes, I want to lose 100 pounds in whatever before the summer. Let's lose 2 pounds this week. Let's drink a gallon of water this week. All right, small things that you can do to help better your life, better your lifestyle. So I guess I'm done talking. That's my rant, my rant for today for personal trainers. I hope you enjoyed the RDC conversations, the RDC talk about the stories. If you are new to my channel, please like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy Just Fit Fletch. I'm about to go in this gym and work on legs, do all leg machine workouts. So I'm gonna get on the leg extension. I'm gonna do the adductor machine. I may do some leg presses. Then probably hop on the cardio machine. Hop on cardio and do my cardio for today, and then call it a day, because it's Sunday and I got work tomorrow. All right, so I'll catch you guys in the next video. Hit that like button. I see one person already did. I appreciate it. Thank you.